What's up, everybody? Smoove Cosplayer here, your favorite salsa dancing cosplayer, bringing you another episode of Smoove Conversations. Tonight, I have with me Jess, aka Feminist Chronicles. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's an honor to have you on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Ooh, I'm glad that we finally get to do this.
Right.
So, Jess, when did you fall in love with cosplay?
Actually cosplaying, probably when I started. The first time I started cosplaying, which was the summer of 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the time where I did my first official cosplay outside of like Halloween. And yeah, me and my girls, we went to a convention and it was like love at first sight. Everything was just fun and new and shiny, and it just felt good being able to nerd out and, embody the characters that I wanted to embody in what was a safe space, so that was really cool. But I've always been following like the cosplay scene. Like even when I was like, in middle school and high school, I would see people that, they would dress up as characters and stuff like that. And I would always follow it, but being a kid, it's like I didn't have that much access to just do whatever I wanted. So it wasn't until I was adult, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna decide to go by myself. Like, whatever, I don't care. But yeah.
You reminded me of something someone posted not a while back, like a couple weeks ago. It's like, when you become an adult, you go back and do the stuff that you couldn't get into when you were younger, because you just didn't have access, whether it was money or actually it's usually just money. I think that's what kept me from getting into a lot of things.
Yeah.
If I could move it without messing up my whole setup here, like right over here, I got my whole Transformers collection.
Right.
I finally got like the combiners. When I was little, I would always get one part of the combiner. Like I'd always have the leg of this one or the arm of this one, but never the whole set. So once I got, out my parents' house, once I graduated, making my own money, I'm like, that's when it started coming back around. Yeah. So I was like, shoot, why not? And now we're here.
Yeah. And it's kind of scary though, because now there's like, you have no cap. There's no one to tell you to stop, like, so you just keep collecting and it becomes pretty serious.
Yeah, that's why, that's where I know it all hurts us to say this word, but that's when the adulting comes in. You got to learn how to have some restraint at some point. Yeah,
absolutely. Because it could definitely get out of hand without, restrictions.
Yeah. It's just what I like to say. Being an adult is just knowing when not to act like the big old kid you really are.
Yeah. It's when to stop the indulgence. I just started collecting pops, the Funko Pops.
Nice.
And I'm just trying to press the brake, because I can't get enough of them. But yeah, I have to slow down because I've already, in a short amount of time, I've amassed, quite a bit. So I gotta slow down.
Wall covered with it yet?
What'd you say?
You have like a whole wall covered with pops yet?
It's not a whole wall cover. I don't know. Maybe I can turn my setup if you guys can see, but it's like all behind my TV there.
Yeah. And
then I have like maybe close to 20 that are here, and then there's a few more coming in the mail. So yeah, it's stacking up. I need to start getting like shelving and stuff so I can display them nicely, because they're all like hidden and hiding.
Yeah, the displays are nice. I got what I got over here. I got two. I think the DETOLF, if I'm pronouncing it right, DETOLF, I think. Two glass shelves. I got them partially because I got tired of. Okay, my collection goes back to when I was still have roommates before meeting the one, and I would have them out in the living room, and my roommates was cool about it, and we all had the same friends, but sometimes our friends would come over and they mess with them, and I'd come home, this one's halfway transformed, this one's posed differently than I left it, and I'm meticulous about a few things, but one of those few things is my Transformers. Don't mess with my stuff.
Don't touch it.
So between that and the fact that my wife said, hey, I'm cool with you having your geeky stuff, I support your geekiness, but if it's gonna be in our space, it needs to be neat.
Yeah.
And I was like, I ain't got no problem with that. So that's why we got the the glass shells, and it keeps the kids out of it. My daughter, she loves them now. We were watching Transformers, the original movie, together yesterday.
Okay.
And she chose that over Moana.
Wow.
I love Moana, but I was like, you made Daddy so proud just now.
Yeah.
And we are back, y'all. My computer decided it was not going to let me be great and restarted in the middle of this. So somewhere we were talking about, we were talking about how my daughter chose Transformers over Moana, and then you mentioned, I think this is what got cut out. You mentioned how your parents were into Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Then we started talking about the animated version of The Hobbit from way back when, and let's see, and then that's when the computer said F y'all.
They didn't like us talking bad about Gollum Salamander form.
Right.
Stupid hobbitses.
Yeah, so I think I'm long overdue for a marathon. Like, I think one time my dream was to watch them all of them back to back with a bunch of friends, and I finally got it done. We started at noon. I told everybody meet me at 10, which I knew that we weren't gonna get started till noon.
Yeah.
A few people sat with me the whole time. Some people left and came back. Some people came late. Some people came early and didn't stay. But enough people stayed the whole time where I was like, this was successful.
Yeah.
So we ended about midnight, which is what I felt like was going to happen.
Wow. So you started at 12 a.m., ended at 12 p.m.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, we didn't make it all the way to the end. We made it to, you know how Return of the King ends like 5 times, right?
Yeah.
So we got through what mattered. We got to Aragorn being crowned king, and he goes through the crowd and he gets to the 4 hobbits. It's like, no, my friends, you about to know one today. And so we made it to that. So I'm like, we make it that far, we good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I haven't had a marathon. No, honestly, I had a marathon through COVID. But one of the friends that we had come over, a close friend of ours, we had got them to start watching Game of Thrones, and they immediately got hooked on it. But that was their first introduction into fantasy. So we tried Lord of the Rings, and they just were not feeling it. I think the pacing of the Shire, sometimes that turns people off, you know. But thank God they didn't read the book, because they'd never get past it.
Because I haven't read the books yet, but I've read about the books, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know that there's this big 17-year time skip that didn't get in there, and so much other stuff that didn't make it. So as soon as you said that, I was like, they ain't gonna like the book.
No, they definitely wouldn't. Yeah, my sister started reading the book Fellowship of the Ring, and I started it, but I never got past the Shire. So I'm waiting for her to fill me in on it.
Wow. I'm thinking of doing. I was telling my wife about Black Fae Day. Is this the first year that has been a thing, or has it been?
I feel like it, because I haven't heard of this before, so I feel like this is the first annual Black Fae Day, which is pretty dope if that's the case.
I'm here for it. So it reminded me of, my wife cosplayed with me once, and she was like, okay, this is the one-time thing. This is it. She actually put it in her wedding vows.
Wow. Okay.
Unprompted from me. I'll tell you the long. If you were, I'm not going to tell the whole story because I'm interviewing you, not me. But
go ahead.
Okay. I'll give a condensed version because I actually made a video about this already. Shameless plug to all of y'all watching. I'm gonna put the description up here. So she was, like I said before, with the Transformers, she's always been supportive of it, been supportive of everything I've done. But she was just like, "You do that, but that's not me. I'm not with it." So this is about a couple of weeks before we got married. We got married in September of 2014. She has a friend named Shay. Shay has a friend who wanted to go to Dragon Con for the first time. Mm-hmm. So she was getting advice for him. So she was texting my wife to text me to get advice about it.
Right.
So my wife was like, "Look, I'm tired of being the middleman. Y'all two text back and forth," which is crazy to me because she'll do the opposite to me, but then when it's time for her to be the middleman, she don't want to do it anyway. So me and Shay are texting back and forth, and for some weird reason, to this day, she doesn't know why she did this. She says, "You tell Shay that if she go to Dragon Con and dress up, I'll do it too." Not knowing that Shay had a geeky side to her. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, while I was texting with it, I was like, yes. So I was cool with just that. That was fine. So we get to the altar in front of God and family, saying her vows. She says, "And I promise to cosplay with you at Dragon Con 2015.
Wow, that was specific. Oh my God.
I'm like, y'all heard this, right? I look right. Like y'all heard this, right? This is legally binding, right? So, hold on.
That's funny.
This is the result.
Wow, she looks fantastic.
So thank you. First of all, thank you. But she did throw around so I'm 99% sure she's not gonna do it again, but the 1% that's left, she either wants to do Carmen Sandiego, which if she does that, I've told her, hey, if you do Carmen Sandiego, I'm doing Waldo. But I can't just do plain Waldo. You know me, I can't just.
Yeah, you gotta bring it to the next level. You gotta do something creative.
I'm gonna do Sniper Waldo.
I love that. I already love that.
Wouldn't Waldo make a good sniper?
Yeah, he would. You gotta spot him out amongst the crowd.
Right. By the time you find him, he done shot you in the head. But,
yeah, that's pretty perfect. That's a perfect play on Waldo.
She also threw around the idea of being an elf from Lord of the Rings. So I was like, Black Fae Day. One of these years, Black Fae Day, I'll be. I hate saying this, but I'll black Legolas, and she'll be black. Toriel is the name from The Hobbit.
Oh yeah, that would be dope.
Evangeline, I forget her name, but she's the one who did. She's Wasp from.
From Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, if we. Well, I said the idea the other day. She didn't outright say no, so there's a chance.
Okay, so she's definitely into consuming nerd content. It's just the cosplay where she draws the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think I have a better chance of getting her in the costume if I don't take her to a convention, because I think she's been to 2 with me. She went to Pensacon with me in 2015, and that kind of get her feet wet.
Yeah.
As opposed to me, Dragon Con was my first con, so I didn't know I was throwing myself into the fire.
Yeah.
So she went to Dragon Con with me Friday night and Saturday, and the chaos is too much for her.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. Because me being a person with social anxiety, I only go because I love the cosplay.
Yeah.
And I love getting into the activities and the events that they have, but sometimes, I really have to take a breather because you start to get really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Just the crowd and, different people, especially if you're cosplay asking you for pictures, you can get very drained very quickly. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Are you an introvert too?
Absolutely. I have not an extroverted bone in my body.
Yeah, me neither. I tell people all the time, I'm an introvert with extroverted hobbies. Cosplay and salsa, they both put me in the spotlight, and I've just learned how to not let it cripple me, if that makes sense. So even with teaching dance, public speaking used to be my biggest fear. And then several years later, I turn around, I'm like, wait, I teach a class every Thursday and Friday. How did I get here?
Right.
Yeah, like that. I think about that Michael B. Jordan meme where he's at like some NBA game and he's laughing and joking with somebody in one picture, and the next picture he's just like.
That's how it really is when you're out mingling with people and exchanging energy with people. It's just like that moment where it's like, okay, I'm completely depleted.
Yes.
And I need to hobble away into the darkness and be by myself.
I'd be like, I love y'all, but I need to get away from y'all at some point. That's why people always ask me, how do you do a million costume changes in one day? I'm like, that's not the hard part. The hard part is getting all your stuff into the hotel that first day.
Yeah.
After that, going back to change costumes is quite therapeutic. Like I get
absolutely
stuff off. I get to get off my feet for 30 minutes to an hour. I get to chill. I get to be in the AC again. I get to take a shower. Yes.
Right. It's a break. Yeah, you can get.
I know y'all tired of me harping on that with my videos, but watch go behind.
I haven't noticed anything crazy at con. Thank God, but I can imagine that some people get a little rank.
Yeah.
Running around all day.
But yeah, like getting to escape, like recharge yourself, recharge your phone.
Yeah.
Dump some pictures so you can have some room. Like we need us introverted people. That I think a lot of people mistake us artsy people for being like we just love the spotlight. No, we don't. The spotlight just happens to come with what we do. We don't necessarily like it.
Yeah. I actually dread it, but no, just kidding.
Same here. Same. I don't want it. I don't want it at all. I just put up with it. I've learned how to put up with it, basically.
Yeah, you have to navigate it in a certain way, and you have to have boundaries,
Yeah.
So taking those breaks to go up to the room, is necessary. You gotta know when to pump the brakes, and not, especially if you're with friends. People want to do so many other things, and it's just like, listen, I gotta take 5, take 10.
Yeah. But, that's why I don't like. I always roll to a con solo. Like actually, my first 2 or 3 years, like I didn't even have cosplay friends at that point.
Yeah,
I had a few people who I knew because there was a few. Excuse me. There's a few people that I know from salsa who are also geeks and were going to Dragon Con before I did. Mm-hmm. So I'd meet up with them, but for the longest, I just didn't have. I don't have the cosplay family that I have now. So. Yeah. But me being an introvert, I was just cool. I'm like, okay, I'm just cosplay watching. I'm just roaming around aimlessly and I'm enjoying myself. Yeah. Now, I got friends now and I'll meet up with them, but I don't arrive at the con with a crew. I don't have an entourage that I roll with. Like, cause I want that freedom to break away.
Whenever you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that 1000%. The only people I go to con with, that I'm rooming with and I'm with at all hours of the day is my sister and our girl Jamie, because they're like me, like we get fatigued very easily, and we have to break away and do our own thing or take a break. So yeah, I like to do that too. If I'm not with them, then I'm gonna try to get away because it's very overwhelming when you have when you're an introvert or you have social anxiety. It's just too much.
Gotcha. So speaking of dealing with all of that at cons, what's your ideal con experience? Like, what makes a convention for you?
Let's see. Okay, so I guess for me, what I enjoy most is obviously a variety of different activities. Yeah. So like I've been to some of the more corporate-ish, like MegaCon, SuperCon, and they're cool, they're great, they're really big, but I think sometimes I like the room for people to be able to do things that don't have to fit within that corporate mold. So I've noticed that a lot of the smaller cons, I know it's hard to probably maintain them, so you kind of see them go away, but sometimes they incorporate things in their conventions that you don't see at these big cons, things that really creative exposés or, you know, different vendors and stuff like that. So I just like to see a lot of variety of different activities and things that you can do, but also without like restrictions. Like I like the 18 and up stuff, you know, like I like that. But I just like variety and accessibility to those things. So especially like the venue is very important. Like Holiday Matsuri is my hands down my favorite con, my favorite venue in Orlando, because the venue at the Marriott, World Center Marriott, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it makes everything so accessible. If you get a room, you can go down to the floor and everything is there for you. And it just looks great. So that's a really big plus for me. I like to be able to be close to the convention.
Yeah.
I can just go downstairs and go to the convention. That's a plus for me, because especially in South Florida, like I am not trying to sweat in almost 100-degree weather just to get to a convention.
Oh, ma'am.
And then, be around a bunch of hot people. Like, no, I need it to be easy. So that's always a plus for me too. And I like to be around good people, you know? I think that the great thing about this community is that we're able to meet so many diverse people, different people, and make new friendships. But I also think that sometimes when we look at just our interests with, you know, anime, comics, or whatever it is, fantasy, sci-fi, you know, you have people that it's just like they're really trying to put a damper on the energy of people just fully enjoying themselves, fully expressing themselves. And I think that's where I draw the line. Like I've dealt with people like that in the community, and at this point I'm not doing it anymore. Like if I don't know you like that, or you don't give me off this energy where it's just like you're not on that tip at all, then I'm not dealing with it. Because if I go to con, I'm there to have a good time. And I'm not trying to allow myself to be brought down by, you know, people who are like acting like it's high school, and you know, like they just want to be negative and nasty. Like that's one thing that will ruin my con mood. If you're a negative, nasty person or whatever, like get out of my vicinity.
I've heard way too often in the past couple of years, and it's probably been going on for longer than that, but I've heard way too often about how this community can kind of be like high school, but just older.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you or people watching, but I felt I'm like I thought I left high school in high school.
Right.
Like the drama, and let me be clear, y'all. When I say drama, I'm not talking about legit issues that come up, because I think we can very easily say drama when it's something that, like, when it's someone's been legitimately wronged, when some injustice has happened. I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about just the pettiness, the jealousy, the envy, all this other kind of stuff. That, like, but yeah, I keep hearing about that with this community. I'm just like, can we not? Can we? Did some of us didn't leave that mentality?
Right.
Some of us got wronged back then, and now they feel like they have the authority to
do it now as adults. It's not cool. It's not cute. And I think it stems from like people feeling insecure, like they're insecure with themselves, and so they have to nitpick and judge everybody else in the community. And like you said, there's situations where you have people that speak out on issues that we need to talk about. You know, if we have someone in the community that's harming people, trying to manipulate, exploit people, you know, those things need to be talked about and brought to the forefront. But there's other things that go on where it's just like, why is this even a topic of conversation? Why are we even talking about this? Is so stupid and non-conducive to people engaging in the community, being a part of the community, and coming here for what we came to do, which is share our love of fandom, share our love of cosplay, and spread positivity and acceptance. Like I don't understand where the bullying and you know, the attacking women in cosplay, attacking, you know, just all different types of people that these bullies feel like, you know, that it's just fair game to talk negatively about or interact with negatively. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You a couple of things you just said reminded me of something that just came up, and I'm gonna leave the names out of it because I know we both know both people involved, and we don't want to rekindle a fire that hopefully has died down.
Yeah.
The subject of that, I think there was some clout chasing involved. There was, most importantly, like you said, an attack on women, and specifically an attack on sexy cosplay.
Yeah.
Spill it all on that. Not the people.
Right. Yeah. No. I respect the anonymity of the people that were involved, and I don't want to give any more attention to the person who is spewing all this ignorance. But it's nothing new. That's what when I seen that situation come up, I was like, okay, I've seen this person a million times in the community. Not to say that it's saturated with these people, but I've seen it before. And, to me, it just highlighted for me what the issues were in the community. When we're talking about women in cosplay, and when we're talking about women showing any amount of skin, it always seems to be an issue. And I think that there's people that get really, it's like they want to align themselves with cosplayers who look a certain way or have a certain type of following or know certain types of people. They want to get close to them, and they want the clout that's associated with it. But meanwhile, they're super critical and insecure with themselves. So they're hypercritical of other people, and then they just hate on anything that's getting success that is not them. So for this person, a lot of projection going on. And I think for like this person, I think sometimes it's a matter of you condemn what you lust, you condemn what you're clout chasing after, and you're condemning them off of what basis? Because you're not talking about male cosplayers in the same respect. It's about women respectability politics. It's about you trying to combat your lust for these cosplayers while simultaneously having to verbally degrade us and talk down on our artistry and what we do. It's really sad and it's embarrassing. But I will digress because I could talk about this all night.
Yeah. We both could. But I'm trying to say something short with this, but I also know my tendency to go off on a tangent.
Yeah, I had to stop myself too. You can go.
Yeah, this is a lot of hypocrisy. I was about to say hypocriticalness, but that's a shorter word for that. Hypocrisy. Yeah. I'm over here trying to reinvent the wheel. Like not just the attack on sexy cosplayers, but like just the whole. And this is again mixed with the clout chasing. It's like you get people who will say, "Dang, I just reminded myself I shot a video for this and never put it out. I might just redo it anyway." The whole idea of attention, right?
Yeah.
A whole lot of us will say that we don't do this for attention, that we do it for fun, that we do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yet some of us will say that, but as soon as someone who they think is not as deserving of them gets more attention, they got an issue.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Oh, I do all of these elaborate armor builds, and I'm not knocking any of that. I want to achieve that myself at some point. I do all these elaborate armor builds or whatever, but this person over here, all they did was get their costume from AliExpress, and they're getting more attention than me. They're getting more recognition from me than me. Oh, I sew all my costumes. I knit every little bitty thread and everything. But this woman over here, all she does, I hate that phrase. All they did.
All she does.
All she did.
I know.
All he did.
Okay.
Which implies that there's an effort requirement.
If you didn't do this much work, you're not valid. Your work is not valid.
So all she did was do this popular cosplay. All she did was cosplay Harley, or all she did was dress sexy, and she's getting more attention than me. But I thought you didn't care about the attention, though.
Right.
I thought you did it for you.
Right. And the reasons why they say that is ridiculous too. Like you the whole Chun-Li thing. You did a popular character and you got so much recognition off. Like, why are you mad at that? Why are you mad that there's popular characters that women cosplay? What's the problem here? I'm confused. Like, I don't get it.
only if you yourself are in it for the recognition would you be mad at that.
Yeah.
And to be fair and clear, I got no problem with people doing it for the recognition.
Right.
But when you feel you need to bash somebody else in the process, that's when I got a problem with it.
Yeah.
If you want clout, go get that clout. If you want attention, go get that attention. If you want fame, go get that fame. I am mad at you.
Right.
But you stepping on people in the process, that's when it's an issue.
Right. Yeah, it definitely. I think that people have to be upfront and honest that if you want to be a professional cosplayer, a well-recognized cosplayer for your builds or whatever, then do that. But the fact that you have to bring other people, because I feel like it's like a gatekeeping thing. I want to be great at this. I want to be the only one that's known for this. And I need to shut off everybody else in the community and down talk and degrade what they do so that I can feel better about what I do. And I think at the end of the day, it just goes back to just like projection, like you said. It's just a projection on everyone else. And sometimes it's like you forget that not everybody is out here doing it for the reasons why you're doing it or acting in a manner that you're acting. People are out here doing it for fun. People are out here doing it for a profession or for money or whatever. Or, just to feel good about themselves, for attention, whatever the case is. Like, okay, everybody has their own reasons.
Yeah, respect people.
What was that?
Just respect people's reasons.
People's reasons.
If it's not destructive to you or themselves, respect their reason.
It just highlights a lot of narcissism, and it highlights a lot of jealousy and nefarious motives, I think, in my opinion. You're not here for the right reasons. You're here to try to get close to people in like a fake, like you're being fake. But at the same time, it's like you're spewing toxicity and ignorance and just bullshit that it's not needed here. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, so we were that whole drama, clout chasing, sexism thing we were talking about reminded me. Now, I believe I know the answer to this, and it makes sense to me if I'm right. But what made you decide to use Feminist Chronicles as your cosplay name?
It was a while ago that I had changed my personal Instagram name to Feminist Chronicles. So yeah, my cosplay page was originally my personal.
Okay.
And when I went to get my bachelor's in psychology, I also got a minor in women's studies. So, that's been my foundation of ethics and politics and education moving forward since then. So yeah, at some point I just changed my name to Feminist Chronicles because I'm a feminist and I'm also a nerd. So I feel like my life experiences are a reflection of Feminist Chronicles. Like it could be like a side scroller game or something. But yeah, when I started cosplaying, I'm like, I'm not gonna change it. Like I know that the word feminist for a lot of people is like having a target on your back. You get people that are gonna have an idea of what feminism is in a negative aspect or a negative light, or they're gonna think you're a radical, or whatever the case is. And I honestly didn't care because I went to school for what I went to school for. I know what I know, and I felt like people who are gonna, like what I do and mess with my viewpoints and thoughts and why I do what I do, they're gonna like it. And those that don't, I'd rather have them walk away than come into my space, my digital space, and view my content thinking that I'm gonna sit here and take certain shit, and I'm not. So that's why I kept the name.
And when I saw that, like it made me think of, there's so many people out there who, and it's not always malicious, but at the same time, even when it's not malicious, it's still problematic. You have people who are like, oh, well, I come to these geeky spaces as escape, right? In and of itself, that's not bad. We all want an escape from something at some point, but they're like, oh, well, I don't want politics, and I use that quotation heavily. That quotation bold right there. is one thing that, and if y'all been following my channel for a while, you know this is a peeve of mine, and I probably sound like a broken record on Facebook with this by now, but one thing I hate is people reducing problems that are everyday problems for people that are not like them to just politics or an agenda, or why don't shove this agenda down our face. Don't shove these politics in our throats.
Right.
It's just like,
right.
You know, why bring these politics into cosplay? Why bring these politics into the geek realm? And it's just like, for people like us, people of color, for people who are anywhere under the LGBTQIA, I'm probably leaving some of the letters off. Anybody who falls into that spectrum, any of that, we would love to keep that out. We would. That ish follows us. Like, we would love to not talk about race, but every time we want to, you know, be seen, every time we dare to be visible, somebody wants to say something. Yeah. Oh, Pinata isn't black. Or,
right. Like, that's always the topic of the conversation.
Right. So yeah. So it follows us here. So we not gonna not talk about it. I know that was a double negative, but we're not gonna not talk about it.
Right.
So like when I thought about your name, I was just like, yeah, letting people know right off the bat, hey, if you can't come here for this and not accept this too.
Exactly.
This is one and the same.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you know, it boggles my mind sometimes that people can be so in their own world and their own head. They don't want to hear anybody else's experience. They don't want to be empathetic to anybody else's you know, what their experience is. And I think that it's just odd to me, because if you're into sci-fi, fantasy, games, you know, whatever, anime, there's so many. These are just mediums to tell a multitude of stories, and most of the times these stories have some sort of political overtones, undertones, whatever the case is.
And it's been that way forever. It's been that way forever.
It's always been that way. And if you're not recognizing that and you're thinking that you're coming, granted, we all go to entertainment to like escape, but you can't deny that some of these stories will inspire or correlate to things that were happening at the time that they were written. I mean, that's just how the fucking world, excuse me, I'm not trying to cuss too much. That's just how the world works, you know, like, that's how the world works. And I think it's people that are overrepresented that undermine what it takes to create a story, and sometimes why these agendas are being used to tell these stories. Like you said, it's always been that way. And if you can't handle the heat, I don't know what to tell you. Get out the kitchen. Like you can't correlate the reality to the fantasy because you're so disconnected from the reality and what other people are experiencing, that when you go to fantasy, I don't want to be reminded of that because I'm so comfortable in my identity and my privilege. And that's that on that.
It reminds me of a show that I think is both one of our favorite shows at this point, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I love that they went there with that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as much of the negative history that Disney has, I'm like, I'm not gonna say they've completely redeemed themselves, but I feel like they're trying. I see the effort there. I'm just like, the fact that they went there, that first when they were leaving, first of all, the first Isaiah Bradley scene.
Yeah. That
mess was heavy.
Yeah.
Your boy stuck the Altoid can. I don't know if it was Altoids, but it was something metal.
Right into that wall.
He looked Bucky right in the face like, I kicked your ass before.
I'll do it again.
And I took your arm. How'd you get it back? As soon as they leave there, Bucky and Sam are arguing. They're just having a spirited discussion, and the cops roll up and automatically assume that Sam is causing some trouble and want to see his ID for what? For arguing? You can't argue? Is it against the law to argue with your friend? You know, and even Bucky was like, look, no, we just having an argument. He's cool. Ironically, he ends up getting arrested. Right. But like right then, like my heart sank a little bit. Like, I'm like, we really doing this right now?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I was surprised. I was surprised that they went to that level.
Yeah.
because I know it pissed a lot of people off, you know.
But I think it was a good pissed off though. Like I think that needed to be hit on. That needed to be shown. You know, whether 2020 happened or not, that needed to be in there.
Yeah.
And then that speech at the end, I almost shed a tear for real. Like Sam, that's a prerequisite for being Captain America. You got to give some good speeches. You got you got to preach a good sermon and get the plate passed around a little bit. You
got to let people know you're a stand-up guy. I think that's one of the prerequisites of being Cap.
Yeah. But I was just like, I'm sitting there watching it at work. I'm like, he did that. He done came a long way from Papa Doc, you know what I mean?
Yeah. For real. It was really refreshing to see, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the rest of Phase 4 of the MCU.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to they did this a little bit with Phase 3, and I noticed it with, more specifically with Tony Stark in Iron Man 3, and then Thor in Ragnarok, where they tried to touch a little bit more on real, raw human emotions. Tony Stark with his PTSD.
Right.
Thor had his body images and then his fear of failure, which crippled him to feel like he didn't want to do anything. Those are very real things that they touched on. And I think now they're even going more by, especially with WandaVision, that
grief.
They went in the grief and holding on to memories of the past. And that was really deep. I really wasn't expecting WandaVision to make me feel how I felt. It was very emotional, and they did the same thing with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They took it there. So I can't wait to see what else they have in store, because I think they're incorporating these things into the storytelling. That is hitting on things that we have been experiencing for the past year and a half. Like, we've all been going through it. Give us some stories so that we can feel that catharsis,
And they're doing a really good job of mixing the action, the geekiness, the fanboy and girlness that we want, but also hitting us with the real life. Like we were talking earlier about how you said, my wife was, even though she might not be into what I'm into, she still is like into consuming the geekery of it all. One thing, I didn't have to fight to get her into, she did get into WandaVision with me.
Yeah.
So I pried a little bit once she was in.
Yeah.
And going back a few years, the first season of Luke Cage, like we were trying to figure out what to watch on Netflix one night, and we saw a preview for The Defenders. And she thought it was a movie. She's like, "Are you gonna make me watch this with you?" I'm like, "No, it's not a movie. It's a series." She was like, "Oh, I'll watch it." Okay. And I was like, "Okay, I need to prep you a little bit." So I was like, "Okay, I need you to watch one of these series with me. Let's watch Luke Cage." And she thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, and not just because Mike Coulter was in there, not just him, but she loved the music. She loved the social commentary of it. She loved we talked a lot about, the streets. Like both of us come from, I guess to some degree privileged families. For those of y'all out there watching, when you hear privilege, don't automatically get that triggered. Like everybody got it to some degree, and it's about recognizing it. When you recognize, because you got it, it don't make you bad. What you do and don't do with it is what makes it bad. So we both, we grew up devoid of the typical street struggle. We don't know what that's about, but we still were able to emphasize with it. Right. And the people who worked for Cottonmouth and Mariah Dillard and all of that, like the bad guys, being able to emphasize with them, because some of them, it's not explicitly stated, but you get the idea that they may not have had a choice coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of people who do bad things, not to excuse the bad things, but a lot of people who do the bad things may not have ever, that's all they've known.
Yeah.
So they feel like, hey, if I'm going to survive, I got to go down this road right here.
Right.
So it really like humanizes those struggles. It really humanizes that aspect of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's what these forms of media are for. You know, we tell a grand story, a fantastical story, but there has to be some element that humanizes the characters that we can identify with, or, you know, feel some sort of connection to. I think that's the most powerful thing that you can do in storytelling. So
yeah.
You
know, that reminds me of, I'm not gonna go into spoiler territory because I know you haven't finished it.
Oh.
How far into the Final Fantasy VII remake
you're gonna put me on the hot seat right now. You know, okay, so I have not gotten very far, and I'm so ashamed to say this, but
it's been a year, girl.
It's been such a crazy year that, like, I just kind of fell off, and now I'm just now replaying it to refresh my memory. But I finished as soon as I was about to get to the honeybee.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're past what I was going to talk about.
Okay.
So, because you played the original, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you go through the Sector 7, Sector 8, the slums that you go through before you Midgar. And they're slums, they're oppressed people. But I really, like, to me in the first one, it kind of glossed over it for me. Whereas when I played the remake, I felt that struggle. I felt that poverty, that struggle there. I'm like, these people really, and it was weird. I'm not by any means saying white people can't struggle. Don't get me twisted on that, y'all. But it was weird seeing people of all shades and backgrounds going through that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it really hit me here.
Yeah.
And regardless of, how the appearance of the people, it really hit me here to see just how much they were going through. Like seeing people living in slums. You got it a little bit in the original, but to see it in HD, to see it without the Popeye arms, that was heavy to me. And then also to see the effects of the reactor blowing up, like people being scared for their lives, wondering if they're gonna make it home. Like, made me feel all of that.
Yeah, they did a great job of exemplifying the things that we weren't able to connect with emotionally with the little 8-bit, graphics that we had, or whatever. They did a great job of doing that. To me, one of the most jarring things was hearing the civilians and the people in the slums what they had to say, and then certain elements that they added. I remember Tifa said something about a service that they provided to the people in Sector 7.
Right, with, the water filter things or something like that.
It was for the smell, because it smells like rotten eggs down there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh gosh, like I can see that there's clearly trash, but for you to add that in, it really puts me into that space and makes me feel what these people are feeling on the ground. And it was a little bit too much, because, and that's the funny thing, just taking it back to what we talked about, people being upset with politics being talked about in fantasy and sci-fi and stuff like that. Final Fantasy VII, if it's not a complete, showcase of what happens in the real world with environmentalism and greedy capitalistic governments that have to have underling class, like, what are you guys talking about? We've been talking about this stuff.
Since been talking about it. Y'all just decided y'all didn't want to listen. Y'all decided to ignore it.
Right. And just think it's just some fantastical made up story, but this is a reflection. It's a fantastical reflection of what the real world is, or where it could go. So that was really awesome how they were able to incorporate those things, because I don't know what I would be doing if I was staring up and just see a big metal ass plate above me. That's terrifying, and that's oppressive. I don't know what else to say about it.
Man. Yeah, they did a really good job of, like, when on the intro, like, showing just all. I was like, whoa! From the jump, it had me like, this ain't gonna be no cakewalk. This is deep.
Definitely not.
Speaking of Tifa, there's no secret to you that I'm a fan of your Tifa.
Oh,
When you gonna do remake Tifa?
you know, remake Tifa is a pretty penny right now. So I'm trying to clear my cos plan list right now. I'm backed up and drowning in cos plans and cosplays. But as soon as I get some availability, I would definitely try to put my efforts and energy, because I love Tifa so much, and her new remake costume is absolutely stunning and gorgeous.
Yeah,
so
I love it.
I have to do it at some point, but right now, I don't know. My schedule is looking a little booked.
Yeah. You say you didn't make it past Honeybee Inn yet, right?
No, I didn't make it past Honeybee Inn. We had just entered the sector, and you know, I was just running around talking to people, trying to get a feel of the area. But yeah, that's where I stopped, which was crazy because that's like my favorite part of the game. So it's just funny that I fell off at that point. But you know how it is. As an adult, it's like we start to get into things that we love, but our time management and then sometimes it takes, like for video games, I feel like it takes energy as an adult. Like it takes energy for you to sit down, to play the game, to get involved, and then you know, especially like doing battles, like that tires you out as an adult. So yeah, you know, you gotta fit it in where you can, and then when you're finally in there, you just gotta keep riding that wave, because it could plummet at any moment.
Exactly. Now, have you've seen her wall market dresses, right?
Her what?
Her Tifa's wall market dresses. You've seen those, right?
The dresses?
Like you've seen people cosplay them before, right?
Yeah, I have, and I've seen the pictures too.
Gotcha. Which of those three is your favorite?
I mean, I'd probably just do that purple one, to be honest.
That's as much as I like that kind of, I don't know if it's like leopard print or something, the gray one.
Actually, let me pull them up, because the purple one is the one that stands out the most.
Yeah, that is my number one favorite. But I do kind of have a soft spot for that gray kind of oriental looking.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one. I like the purple one though, because you know, she's got that cute bow on her neck. It's got that like Victorian feel, but then she's got that deep plunging neckline. I love that. But yeah, this leopard one is like, it's on some other next level shit, I think.
Yeah, blue, the purple. I don't know why like I thought it was blue for some reason, but like that purple one that's my number one, but right under that one, right up under that one is that. Yeah,
that's the one. Honestly, if I were to do any of these, I feel like the purple one would be the easiest costume to get, but honestly, this leopard print one and also the short kimono, that's a look. Yeah. That's a whole look.
I hope you heard that in like the evil like Emperor Palpatine voice when I said do it. Like do it.
I think of that every time someone says that when I say it. It's the only reference.
Right? Yo, so y'all, everybody watching at home, I want y'all to, I don't know if I'm gonna get this direction wrong. This is probably gonna flip when I post this, but right to, that blue and gold right there. Y'all focus on that. That's some new hotness that she about to drop pretty soon right there.
Oh yeah, that's my whole cosplay rack over here. All my cosplays.
Oh, you a whole lot more organized than me. Like before we moved into where we're at right now, I was basically taking up half my kid's closet with my.
Oh. It'd be like that though. It'd be like that. Before I had this rack, my shit was all over the place.
Yeah. Now we're in a 3-bedroom, so now the office, which is still yet to be unpacked. Now that closet has my stuff in there, so it's a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, that Jean Grey finna be fire. I'm telling y'all.
You know,
I'm keeping
this. Fingers crossed. I'm still in the editing process, but I hope you guys like it.
You got this.
It's honestly, I never had a zentai suit before.
Yeah.
And when I put that suit on, I was like, okay, what's next? I got to do Spider-Man. I got to do all the zentai suits because they're awesome.
Right, I got two. So my gender bend Psylocke and my Cyclops that I just recently did, like the black and red one.
Yeah.
You know, they're both zentai suits, and they're good for, so they don't block wind at all.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I can see that.
Which is good for when it's hot, because as long as I'm walking, I will get breeze through there.
Yeah.
Not good for wintertime. I've never tried wearing one when it's cold, but I have no doubt I'm gonna freeze my butt off if I try that.
Yeah.
No, so I have to try to zip that thing up in the back though. Fortunately, I have long arms. Like I have a 6'6" wingspan. Like I can like push it up, grab it from me like I'm literally I'm grabbing my fingers.
Right.
Now. So it's not, so I can do it by myself. I know that's not a luxury everybody has, but yeah, I'm cool. The zentai suits, they're game changer for real.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, they're just fun. I didn't know how much fun it would be because you know, I see other people wear them all the time and they're really cool, but when I put it on, I just felt like I suited up. Like, all right, I'm a X-Men.
Like I'm here.
Right, we're here.
Let me go have the danger room real quick, you know?
Right, exactly. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I see why people get really into finding the perfect fit and accessories. So it's pretty cool. It's fun.
Yeah, I know you noticed what I wore for you, right?
Yes, I love the X-Men shirt. Yeah, you came through, represented.
The bad thing was like I was trying to find the right camera angle because like I wanted to get the geekery up here, but my waifu was being cut off at the bottom. Like
Psylocke down there.
Was at the bottom. Like how I didn't want her cut off, but you know just the way I'm sitting. It's all
good as long as you give us a little quick peek. Yeah, she's there. All we need.
I might do Polaris at some point.
Do it.
Yeah, I think one of my next purchases, you know how like for my domino, I got like the dreadlock wig.
Yeah.
That's probably just going to be my thing for wherever I need hair. So I plan on buying like 4 more of them.
Yeah.
Dyeing them. So I'm gonna get a dye one green for Polaris. Because big shout out to Ceremony Cosplay. I did the interview with her last summer. She does this mean gender bend of havoc. Like I don't know if we're ever going to be at the same con at the same time because she's
I would hope so. She's
out in Arizona somewhere.
Yeah.
But in case that happens, I need a gender bend Polaris to go with it. I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway because she's dope. But I'm not doing her.
We need to see it.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. I can't. I'm having trouble deciding if I'm gonna do this one like the blue and gold or her classic green. I don't know yet.
You know, the green would be classic, but that colorway sounds clean.
Yeah,
the colorway sounds clean. It would be nice.
Now, before I do her, Storm is gonna happen.
Storm is happening.
Yes, I've this much started on it, so I have no intention of piercing my ears. So I'm not doing the lightning earrings.
Yeah.
What I've done as a part of the gender bend, I actually got and it was very inexpensive. It's probably not even real gold. No, I don't know if I got gold or silver or not. Whatever it is, it ain't the real thing. But I got a necklace with a lightning charm on it.
Oh, nice! That's gonna be nice.
So that so basically going with the whole leather thing, and I found a good mohawk for it. I haven't bought it yet, but you know.
Nice. Oh, so you're doing 80s punk storm.
Yeah.
Okay. I have one on reserve right now that I'm waiting to officially shoot for. So we definitely need to come out with our punk storms. It needs to happen.
So who all X-Men are you planning on doing? Whether it's soon or like way down the road, who you got planned?
I'm definitely doing Punk Storm.
Okay.
At some point, I want to do Classic Storm in her white fit from the 90s animated series. I really want to do that look, but I also want to do her black look. Same out, you know, the one where she has the wings and you know, I want to do that look. And if I could, I would like to do her look from Apocalypse. I thought that look was really, really fire. So I would do that one too. She still got the mohawk and everything.
Yeah.
But I want to do all the storms, I guess. I love storms.
Yes. Now, how do you feel about, like, we all love Storm. We all love Storm cosplayers. But how do you feel about, like, there's a lot of, and I agree with this. There's a lot of Black female cosplayers who don't want to do Storm, because that's I'll say this to y'all at home. Telling a woman, hey, you should do Storm is not a compliment.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's like the default, oh, you're a Black woman, you should do Storm. And there's who will just by default, just off of that reason, will not do Storm. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's just like, I fought doing, like, I haven't done, other than my wrestling matchup with Black Panther. Mm-hmm. That's why I held off doing Black Panther for so long, because like that was the expected one. That's why I haven't done Jax from Mortal Kombat yet. I will do him eventually, but that's it. Oh, you're a Black guy, you're cosplaying Mortal Kombat, you should do Jax. I'm like,
right. It's really, really annoying, and for, like, for me, I get annoyed when people say that too. You get you should cosplay Yoruichi, you should cosplay Storm. Like, okay, like maybe I will, but it's just tiring, because it's like it seems like a projection of them trying to find a suitable cosplay for you because you're brown or you're Black, you're a person of color.
Yeah, let me go ahead and put you in the box.
Right.
And fit you in somewhere.
Exactly. So it's insulting, and I can see why other women don't want to do Storm, just because it's like you're going to go against what people are telling you. You're going to tell me to do this character because you're trying to make me feel like that's the only character I can do, or that's the character I'm going to look the best at because I'm a person of color. Then I'm not going to do it. For me personally, though, I don't care. I don't care what people say. If I love that character, I'm going to embody them, and you're going to have whatever preconceived, prejudice, stereotypical like that you're going to have. All I know is I'm going to kill this cosplay. And so
you will. You kill everything you do.
Yeah. What would you say?
I said, you will. You kill everything you do.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's just how I go about it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you think that this is a tired, we go back to what that guy was saying. I don't care if you think this is a tired, overdone cosplay. I don't care if you think I should be this person, or if you think that I should not be this person.
Yeah.
I'm cosplaying for fun. I'm cosplaying to express what I want to express, and you can sit here and enjoy the content, or you can hate, whatever. I don't care.
Enjoy it or you cannot. I'm do it anyway.
You cannot.
True. All right. Before we get out of here, what? First of all, where can people find you? Where can people follow you at?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Feminist Chronicles. You can also find me on Twitter at FemChronicles_. And I'm trying to think of my other handles. That's pretty much it for now. I'm not really out there like that on social media. So.
Cool. Is there anything you got coming up? Anything you want to plug? Anything you need the people to know? Anything you want to get off your chest?
Nothing I want to plug as of yet. I will say just be on the lookout, because I do have some things in the works that I'm planning. When I'm ready to greenlight that, I'll make those announcements. What do I want to leave off on? I just want to leave off on, positive vibes. I hope everybody's doing good. And if you're in the cosplay community or the nerd community, don't worry about anybody that has anything negative to say or gatekeeping to say. Enjoy what you enjoy at any capacity that you enjoy it at, and have fun. Connect with people that make you feel good about what you do and what you love. And don't listen to haters or people that are projecting their sadness and insecurity on you. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, that is a mouthful. That is enough. That yes, all of that,
Thanks.
Cool. So, Jess, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope I never came across as bugging you to do this with me.
No, I appreciate you inviting me. I had a great time talking with you and chatting with you. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was great.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here. It's been an honor. Y'all, make sure y'all go follow her. I always get this wrong. I would just point in both directions. That way I get you somehow. But yes, y'all go follow her wherever she is. She posts not just great cosplay content, but if you are out there and you want to better yourself, if you want to get a perspective other than your own, if you want to learn some stuff as a self-proclaimed person who wants to like do better as far as sexism, all that kind of stuff. Like, I got my blind spots. I have learned a lot from the things she has posted. You've probably, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me repost some stuff that she's posted or re-share from somewhere else. All I'm saying, if you want to better yourself, keep her stories, keep her stuff, all of that. But yeah, y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good time, whatever con you're going to next. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, that share button. Good luck on your cosplay builds. Y'all go follow her wherever she's at, and y'all have a good night. See y'all in the next video. Peace.